We can all agree that the internet is a strange place. A place where anything and anyone can go on. A place where you are anonymous everywhere you go, without having to give out your true identity. But what if you go deeper than before? A place where there are no rules and only chaos ensues. Many of you may have heard of the dark web or deep web, where everyone's anonymity is truly hidden and is a place where most things are available. But all of a sudden, you stumble upon a mysterious link. You're hesitant to click on it, but your curiosity gets the absolute best of you. A pop-up window appears that states the following: do you like the Red Room? You get an unnerving feeling about this, but again, your curiosity gets the best of you, and you click further on the link. But do you feel that? It's almost like, oh no, that's right. It takes you straight to a page where you must pay first to gain access. Obviously a scam, right? Unless maybe you just insert your wallet and just start paying. Okay, no, that's the end of the beginning segment. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. See what I did there? I changed it to red because we're talking about red rooms. I thought it was funny. Today, I want to look into the dark web myth, red rooms. Do they actually exist, or are they simply an internet legend that was created? Were all those Reddit stories that I read saying how they all gained access to the red room fake? Of course not. Someone wouldn't dare lie on the internet, right? Makes you question whether anything is real. It makes me think, am I real? No. I am simply a man on the internet who makes cool YouTube videos for the pure enjoyment of himself and to entertain others. I do not exist. Did we get it? Anyhow, we're getting off topic. Today, I want to explore more about red rooms and find out if one ever took place or if like in general, or do they even exist? Now, I can already see the comment section. Yeah, obviously they're not real, or maybe some of you are saying, yeah, they are real. I saw Bill in there last week. Listen, I'm simply here, and I'm just going to share some information about red rooms. My goal here is not to gain access to a red room. No, that's absolutely foul and disgusting. But by the end of this video, my goal is to come up with a conclusional answer or reason to why they do exist or if they don't. Now, I've never accessed the deep web, and I didn't really have any like information about red rooms in general, so I asked a well-respected name in that space, Mudahar, aka Some Ordinary Gamers, and I asked him what he thought about red rooms, except he never fucking responded, that motherfucker. So I took it upon my own grasp to learn some of this stuff, but I've noticed that I've gotten this far into the video and I haven't even mentioned what a red room is. Some of you may be wondering, what the hell is this guy talking about? Allow me to explain. Basically, a red room is a live stream on the dark web where people will take others that they have kidnapped and torture or kill them on camera. With the viewers and audience watching them live, they will be able to do polls in the chat to vote on what happens to the victim. This may including killing them or just torturing them even more with more horrific acts. Anyone who attends these types of things are absolute sick bastards. But now that I have explained what a red room is, let's look further into it. So, just like any good story, let's start with the origin of the topic. Where the hell did red rooms come from? Well, you see, it was a sunny day on the beach, and me and my friend were surfing through the snow with Santa and running from a monster as big as... Now, the origin of the concept of red rooms is unclear. Some say it came from a movie, and others say it came from a flash animation. For the sake of this video, I will explain the one that everyone seems to refer to when talking about the concept. The red room concept most likely came from a flash animation in the late 1990s. In the early stages of the Japanese internet, there was a pop-up ad that was called the Red Room Curse. In the late 1990s, a Japanese interactive Adobe Flash animation was uploaded to GeoCities, which is on Yahoo, by the way. Now, since the Flash animation is in Japanese, I don't know if this is completely accurate, but basically, to my understanding, the animation went something along the lines of this. So, the animation starts off with two boys discussing an internet urban legend about a mysterious pop-up ad that appeared and said the following: do you like cutting off, and one of the boys saying that if they closed the pop-up ad, they would die a horrible death. One of the boys, of course skeptical if this was real, went to go do some investigating on his own to find more information about this urban legend. After searching for a while, he gives up and goes to a different website, but all of a sudden a pop-up ad appears on his computer that says the following: "Do you like?" However, it gets cut off when the boy closes the ad, but only for the pop-up ad to reappear again and say the following: "Do you like red?" The boy panics and attempts to close the ad again, but the ad reappears, saying the following again: "Do you like the red room?" He is then taken to a web page that presents a list of names, and among the list of names, his name is the very last one on there, and he soon dies. Rumors then begin to circulate around the school about his death, which sparked massive interest in the urban legend. The computer then shuts off with an eerie sound. So that is how the Flash animation goes, and all of it's in Japanese, so I had to rely on external sources to help me understand what was going on, so they better not be fucking wrong. Although this simple Flash animation is not the only cause that caused Red Rooms to become so popular. No. It was what happened afterward that made many begin to have questions. You see, after this Flash animation was posted, a certain incident would occur that was linked to this Flash animation. This incident is the Sasebo slashing that occurred in Japan. On June 1st, 2004, at an elementary school in the city of Sasebo in Nagasaki, a murder would occur. During lunch hour, an 11-year-old girl would murder her 12-year-old classmate in an empty classroom. She would slit her classmate's throat and arms with a box cutter, leaving her classmate's body in the classroom until their teacher stumbled upon the body and called the police. Now, you're probably wondering what can spark such horrific motives for an 11-year-old to do this. Well, her motive was because her 12-year-old classmate commented on her weight on the internet and called her a goody-goody. During further investigation, the police found out that the 11-year-old girl was reported to be a fan of the death-themed Flash animation Red Room, which was a claim used in the support of the theory. She was also a fan of the novel Battle Royale, which centers on young students fighting to the death. Soon after the internet found out about this killing, she would be made as an internet meme known as Nevada Tan. Now, I don't know if this is the exactly where Red Room's concept came from. There's a lot of discussion that it came from the movie Videodrome, where torture is shown live on TV in a red painted room. This option also seems possible, but I guess we'll never know the exact origin point of where the Red Room concept actually came from. Well, now that we have an idea of where it might have come from, I guess I should try to explain how and when you stumble upon a Red Room. So, first of all, Red Rooms are only accessed on the sneaky side of the internet, which is referred to as the dark web or deep web, whatever you want to call it. Now, for those that don't know what the dark web is, allow me to quickly explain what it is. The dark web is the part of the internet that is not indexed by search engines, that is only accessible using special software or configurations that allow users to remain anonymous and untraceable. Unlike the surface web, which includes websites and online services that are indexed by search engines such as Google and just Yahoo, pretty much just search engines like that are easily accessible to the general public. The dark web is primarily used for illegal activities such as drug trafficking, weapon sales, and other illicit transactions. One of the most well-known technologies used to access the dark web is the Tor network, which allows users to browse the web anonymously by routing their internet traffic through a network of servers, making it difficult to trace their online activity back to their physical location or identity. While the dark web is often associated with criminal activity, it is also used by activists, journalists, and others who require anonymity and security to communicate and share information, such as myself. It is important to mention though that, accessing the dark web carries a significant risk, as users may inadvertently expose themselves to malware, scams, and other dangers on the sites. But who gives a hell about those risks if I'm only there to get a subscription for Crunchyroll so I can watch Vinland Saga Season 2 and not go into depth? Okay, so I believe I have explained the dark web to the best of my fullest ability. Basically, a place not accessible by normal everyday people. The dark web is not as hard to access though. It's as simply looking it up on Google and how to do it. Oh, you need a service called Tor, and you start searching things with .onion link ending with it to access these pages. Oh wow, so easy. Well, it's probably not that simple, but you get my gist. Now, Red Rooms on the other hand are not as easily accessible. In fact, they are nearly impossible to gain access to. But I'm gonna say it right now, you're not gonna find a Red Room just on a website that is out in public. Nobody is dumb enough to do that. Red rooms are usually hidden pages that are highly restricted with some type of paywall behind them and invitation-only access. Most of these private websites require credentials and accounts in order to gain access to them. So in order to gain access, there are multiple steps to getting your hands on one of these websites. This is very difficult for many to achieve, and probably good that it's this difficult. Also, on the dark web, links are closed and updated almost every day. Most people surf the deep web using a catalog or a link list, and those links list update and remove links every day. For example, a website that was up a day ago might be gone by the very next day. It's just how these types of link lists and catalogs work. The hidden wiki is a very popular one that many use when searching the deep web. So what I'm saying is that you're not going to stumble upon a Red Room link just randomly. You must be purposely searching for these types of websites, and you have to have some type of interactions with someone else that has access to these types of websites. Now, the probability of stumbling upon one, though, is not impossible. And let's say you do. Well, the question rises. How do you know if it's real? Well, I'm going to say it straight up. It's not real. If the supposed Red Room asks for any transactions first in order to view the content, then it's a scam, 100%. It's a fake website that says they're hosting a Red Room, and when you continue further on, it's going to present a paywall asking you to pay first in order to view the content. This is 99% of Red Room links. They are either scams or simply hoaxes. Also, a quick mention, please do not put any of your information or download anything from the dark web. It's a scam or a virus 99% of the time. So now I believe it's best to explain why Red Rooms simply cannot happen on the dark web. But just because I said it can't happen on the dark web doesn't mean it can't happen somewhere else. Well, what do I mean by that? But first, allow me to explain how Red Rooms are close to impossible to stream on the dark web. It's not that it's impossible to stream on the dark web. It's just so fucking bad. If you were to watch someone being murdered on the dark web, it would look like I threw a bucket of paint on your monitor and hit your monitor exactly 34 times with a hammer and processed it through a printer. The quality of the stream would be absolutely terrible. It probably wouldn't go higher than 144p, or if you're lucky, maybe 240p.
Problem, missile alone RAM, missile alone RAM.
The reason for this is because of slow speeds and high latency due to the use of the network Tor. Tor routes internet traffic through multiple servers before reaching its final destination. This will lead to slow load times and buffering when streaming video or audio. Think of Tor as an onion. Well, because that's what it is. Well, an onion has multiple layers. So because of the data relaying through onion nodes, and encrypting and decrypting at each stop, that will result in high latency and absolute terrible quality. Another issue is that many of the websites and services on the dark web are hosted on servers that are located in countries with lax laws or regulations around internet activity. This means that users may be exposed to malicious content, scams, or other dangers while streaming on the dark web. It makes live streaming on the dark web terrible, and to put the cherry on top, there is no evidence of a Red Room incident ever happening. I have searched and tried to find at least one that has evidence, but and to have like reports to show that it's an actual Red Room, but I was unsuccessful to find even one. Most of them are just snuff films being sold on the deep web, or just recordings but never an actual live stream of a murder happening. Also, some of you may be asking yourself this question, and I believe it's interesting as well to bring up, which is, why do people even search for stuff like this? Like, why would someone else want to find a live stream of someone being hurt or killed? And in my opinion, nobody should be seeking or wanting to watch this type of stuff. It's inhuman. There are many different reasons why some people may be drawn to malicious or harmful content. But in general, these behaviors are often associated with a desire for power, control, or validation. Some individuals may seek out this type of content as a way to feel powerful or in control, especially if they feel powerless or marginalized in their everyday lives. Others may be drawn to malicious or harmful content as a way to cope with their own emotional pain or trauma, using these extreme forms of content as a way to distract themselves or numb their feelings. But the most likely one is that some individuals may simply find this type of content to be stimulating or exciting, even if they do not necessarily endorse the behaviors or beliefs being portrayed. To put it shortly, there are just sick people out there. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but remember how I said this during the video? Let me see. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Right there. I said, but just because I said it can't happen on the dark web doesn't mean it can't happen somewhere else. Well, what do I mean by that? I'm saying that if red rooms were to truly exist, then it would not have to be on the dark web. Now, this is just a theory or a stretch, so I don't know if this is true, but hear me out. Perhaps on the dark web or deep web, however you wish to pronounce it, you interact with others that know about the secret type of red room event happening. That's how many gain access to these types of websites anyways, through like other interactions and associates. So let's say someone gives you an invitation to the red room event, and instead of it being streamed on Tor, which is incredibly slow, it's live streamed on some type of custom browser or private server. They invite you to the red room and give you a link to download this custom browser. That would allow you to participate in this red room thing without the quality being completely terrible. Now, I'm not too experienced in hosting servers and custom browsers like that, so I don't know if that's even possible, but it's probably my best bet. Think of it as like a custom Discord where one is sharing their screen and everyone is in the channel typing and communicating there, and there's pretty much no moderation basically. Another problem I have with red rooms is I can imagine that it costs quite a bit of money to operate these types of things. Like, you obviously have to make money hosting these red rooms, you know, for the kidnappings and tortures and the risk of being caught. So I just don't see why it would be worth it financially, even if someone were to pay the paywall and to gain access to the red room. I just don't see anyone going through all this struggle and stress to entertain some people online or to make any money from it, to be frank. So I believe we can come up to a conclusional answer. That being, it's not that they're not real, it's that it's just not possible. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, red rooms are live streams of people that are kidnapped and then tortured depending on the choices / polls of the viewers watching. So that means a simple live stream of a killing happening wouldn't really be classified as a red room. The viewers and audience have to be able to vote on what happens to the victim in order for it to be officially called a red room. Because to be honest, you will most likely have a higher chance of finding a live killing happening on Facebook Live than on the deep web. By the way, Facebook Live is crazy. I can recall back to many times where I saw ISIS members doing a beheading live or maybe a shooting massacre on Facebook Live. What I'm saying is that you most likely have a better chance of finding a killing happening on Facebook Live than the actual deep web, due to how accessible Facebook Live is to everyone. For example, I found a website that shows a couple of examples of these live streams. In January 2017, a disabled white teenager in Chicago was tortured by 4 black people while yelling about Donald Trump and white people, while streaming it live on Facebook. So you know, some messed up things do happen on the surface web. But like I mentioned, these live streams wouldn't be classified as red rooms since the viewers can't interact with what happens. Also, while looking for cases related to red rooms, I also managed to stumble upon a certain incident named Daisy's Destruction, which I really don't want to talk about in this video due to how disturbing it is. But essentially, it's a snuff film that was on the deep web. It's absolutely horrific and I don't recommend anyone going out of their way to look for it. But the reason I bring this incident up is because, like I mentioned, it was on the deep web. However, this snuff film was being sold on the deep web from anywhere between $100 to $10,000. It was sold on the deep web to clients or people for up to $10K, and it was pretty much a multi-part video so extreme that I don't want to touch upon it here, but you know, I thought I would bring it up to explain that messed up stuff does happen on the dark web, you know? It also makes me think, who would pay up to $10K for a film so disgusting? Now, I don't know if these transactions actually went through, but the fact that there is so much information and reports about it tells me that it might be real. Well, we kind of went off the railroads there, but back to red rooms and the final question. Do they truly exist? The answer, to my understanding, no, there has been no real evidence of one taking place, and it's probably good that there hasn't. My reasoning for this is probably because it just isn't worth it for these criminals to do. whether for financial gain or entertainment. It just seems like a hassle to deal with, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. You can technically do it, but you'll have to watch that shit on a resolution lower than the NES console, and you have to pay to even watch it. Like, imagine paying up to $500 to watch literal pixels on your screen. At that point, you're just better off going to LiveLeak to look for stuff like that, you sick bastard. But that pretty much sums up the video. This topic was very interesting to look into. Red rooms will always remain as an urban legend. Will probably stay that way for many years to come. But that's about it for the video. Thank you all for watching. I hope the video was as entertaining enough for you guys to stick around to the end. But that's about it. So I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.